Welcome to Irresistible You, Ignite Your Passion and Purpose. I'm your host, Karen Seltz. I've had an amazing, incredible week, and I'm so excited that I get to share with you some of the things that have occurred to me or for me, really. And it's really that place of taking what I've known for years up here, like philosophy, and seeing it play out and applying it and embodying it. And I have an example for you. So on Sunday, I had the opportunity to be a part of this meditation. There's a group called Inner Science Foundation, and they do all the research, or at least some of it, I don't know that, for Dr. Joe Dispenza. And somebody in one of my Dr. Joe Dispenza groups invited me to this meditation. And I don't know how many people were there, but the energy was absolutely incredible. And you know how, well, okay, let me back up. So there are some philosophies that I really, really believe up here. Like every single person is innocent, every single person is lovable. And for me, there are some people that have been harder to love. I'll be honest. People that trigger me or that I have judgment about who they are being. And one of those people is a political figure. And two of those people are people that I've known in my life. And I'm like, why are they like that? And blah, blah, blah. So I've had judgments. And whenever I talk like that, my vibration goes, I could feel it. I can feel, anytime we judge, we are cutting off our connection with source, with love. And so it's a challenge, right? Sometimes we think we're right. At least I do. I think I'm right, like to judge somebody for who they're being or what their behavior is. So in this meditation, and I kind of have had, I had something leading up to it where I'm like, I'm kind of done. I'm done with talking about this person in a negative light, especially one person. And I've really been cognizant of what it's doing to my vibration. And so I made a choice, like I get to love this person no matter what. And in this meditation, my heart just opened. It opened, and I filled with so much love for these three people that I've been judging, and that I was positive I was right, man. And I had lots of people that were going to co-sign that story. And so what happened in this meditation was my heart filled with so much love for all three of these people. And one of them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to text him and, tell him I love him after this and to thank him for, this awareness. And I swear to you, I had as much love for these three people that I'd been judging, I don't know for how long, but a while. I had as much love for them as I did for my children that I gave birth to. And I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Like mind blowing. And that was 5 days ago. It has not gone away. I have still so much love for these people. And finally, I can really see them as innocent, as lacking nothing, as lovable as my two daughters, as lovable as my dog that I adore. If you've ever seen her make an appearance, you know how much I love her, right? As much as my best friends, as much as my gurus, like the people that I really admire and I study. And I'm like, wow, like that's the first time that I've had that level of unconditional love. There are many people, especially strangers, I have a very easy time opening my heart and loving and accepting them exactly as they are, because I don't want anything from them. I don't need anything from them, right? It's, in my experience, it's a lot harder to love unconditionally the people we're in relationships with, because we have needs, right? We have perceived needs. We want something from most people. I want my kids to respect me. I want them to be quiet when I'm shooting videos. I want them to do chores, right? I love them whether they do those things or not. And sometimes it's more challenging to stay in alignment with who I choose to be. So if you can relate to that, welcome to the club. And the reason I'm sharing this story with you is, oh my gosh, I've been studying this book, The Way of Mastery, for 15, 20 years, I don't know, a long time. And this is the very first time I'm like, oh my gosh, I got it. I got it in my heart that it is possible to really love people that, I mean, I wouldn't consider these people my enemies, but I would consider them people I didn't like. It is possible to love them and to allow them safe passage. Like, I'm not going to hang out with any of these people, probably. I won't choose to spend my time there. But if they're in my path, I can love them, like truly love them and accept them just as they are. And know that whoever they come in contact with, instead of me thinking, oh, they're hurting that person, I get to see they're playing a role for that person, that both souls agreed to that. And who am I to think I know what's best for any other soul? So today we are going to talk about this place of certainty, power, and fulfillment. The place where you know that you know that you know the truth about you, the truth about life, the truth about everything. And there is this place where that's available to you. And it's a really nice place to be. How would you like to have no anxiety, to have peace and joy, and know that nobody can control you, that you are at choice, that you are the one who chooses. You are the one that creates everything you experience. And that requires some vigilance, right? You get to watch your thoughts and your emotions, and you get to pay attention. And when something doesn't feel good, like in your body, or you feel sad, or you feel angry, or you feel right about something, that's one of my big ones. That's my biggest indicator. Like, I know that I'm right. I'm yeah, Karen, If you can relate, laugh with me, because it's really hilarious. Anytime I'm positive that I'm right, I know the ego has crept in and has taken hold, and I am no longer thinking with the same mind, right? So now, whenever I catch myself being right, I just laugh, because I already know. I know how it's going to play out. I just know. So I really want you to get this. And you can repeat after me. I am loved. I am lovable. Wait, I said it wrong. Start over. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable forever. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable forever. I am that I am, and I can't be anything else. Like, same with you. Like, you were created loved. It's impossible for you to not be loved. It's impossible. I don't know what you believe in. You can call it God, universe, source, spirit, flying spaghetti monster. I had a friend call it that. Love that. Whatever it is, you are loved. You are made out of love. You are a spark of divinity. It's impossible for you not to be loved. You are loving. That's who you were created to be. You can be nothing else. If you're not acting in a loving way, you've just forgotten. You've forgotten the truth of who you are. You've forgotten where you came from. You've forgotten that you are a spark of divinity. You're still loving. And no matter how you behave, you are lovable forever. You are as you were created. You can be no different. You can be nothing else. It's like saying to you, all of a sudden, you're a human being, right? If I say to you, you're a potato, you'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm a human being, right? You are love. How about that? When we say you are love, people are like, not me. You don't know what I've done. Doesn't matter. You can never, ever be more lovable than you were created. And you can never, ever be less lovable than you were created. Like, you can't earn it. You just can't. You can't change it. So settle into that. So whenever you forget the truth of who you are, drop down into your heart. I am loved. I'm loving. I am lovable forever. And if you want to, you can say, I am that I am. I am. Those powerful words, I am. And anytime you are in your heart and you are in truth, which means you are in love, you're thinking loving thoughts. Sometimes we get to forgive ourselves for our perceptions of other people. I believe there's nothing to forgive others for. we think there is. We think that people could harm us. And the truth is, they can't. Nobody can harm you. You get to forgive yourself for perceiving that someone could harm you. And I know this is hard to get, especially if you've been victimized in any way. You get to forgive yourself and you get to forgive others. Yeah, sure, do it. Because anytime we're holding on to any resentment or judgment or anger or malice, we're not in love and we're not in truth. So if you want to really be free, start loving everyone. Practice. And there's a Buddhist meditation, I think it's called loving kindness practice, where you start by loving somebody who's easy to love. So, and sometimes people have a lot of baggage. So if you can't think of a person that's easy to love, how about a pet? Or it could be somebody alive or dead. You just think about somebody that really, that's easy to love. And then you extend that love. I probably am going to get this out of order because I haven't practiced it in 15 years, but then you extend it out like to yourself. You love yourself with that same love and compassion. And then you love, if you have a partner, you love them or your children or your immediate family. And you keep extending it out to your acquaintances, to people that you've only met once, to your community, to your country, to the world. And then eventually you get to practice loving the people that piss you off. I don't like to say enemy because most of us don't have enemies, but people we don't like, people that, we'd rather not spend time with. When you get to that point when you can actually love them, you are free. We think we're hurting someone else or punishing them by holding them in this like place of, where we're holding on to anger or resentment. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but in recovery, they say resentment is like you drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. Because it poisons you. It creates cancer and dis-ease in the body. It creates all kinds of things in our physical form. And so many people just hold on to that and they think they're hurting the other person when really they're hurting themselves just as much, if not more. So to be free, you get to release all those bonds. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard sometimes to forgive other people. And if you want to be free, you get to work on it every single day until you get to that point where you're like, oh my gosh, I love this person as much as my child. I never thought I would ever see that day. Never. I mean, for me, that's insane. That's crazy. And it's amazing. And I'm always looking for progress, not perfection, everywhere. And one of the things I have a lot of my clients do is celebrate their wins. They write them down like, okay, what are you celebrating? What did you do well? Or what, and it could be anything. I always say, like, it could be as small as you flossed your teeth, because that's an act of self-love. It's self-care. A lot of people don't do that. They don't care enough about themselves to pay attention to that little detail. So it could be anything. I held the door for a stranger. I smiled at someone. I said hello. I thought of somebody, a friend, and I sent them a text saying, hey, just thinking of you. How you doing? I mean, it could be anything, or it could be something huge. Like I was courageous today and I went on video. I don't know, it could be anything. I celebrate those moments. This is one of the things that I celebrate. When my teenage girls are fighting, for example, when I can have the presence of mind, which I've had this week, I've been like in this Zen mode. I don't know what's going on, but to actually just go out and make eye contact with one of them and just maybe even touch her on the shoulder or the arm and say, hey, are you okay? What do you need? Do you need a hug? And she'll say yes. And so I'll give her a hug. One of them will not accept hugs, but one will. And she just needed to be seen. So instead of having an hour of turmoil when I'm trying to work, I can have 2 minutes of like presence where I am absolutely 100% present, where I'm calm and just like being there for her. Like, not before I would have this story, like she's disrespecting me. She knows I'm working, or she should know, right? She should know I'm working. My door is closed, whatever it is. But if I can let that go and just say, oh gosh, I wonder what she needs, because she's got to be going through something or she wouldn't be screaming, right? So, how many times in your life do you have the opportunity to be present for another human being, to be present for yourself, to ask yourself when you feel icky, like something's off in here, and you're like, okay, what do you need? Like for me, I put one hand on my heart and one hand on my stomach, and that's like a hug to myself. And it's like, it's very soothing. It's like holding me. I learned that in some meditation years ago. And just say, what do you need? What do you need right now? And sometimes it's just air, oxygen. It's like take a few breaths, come back to center, remember who you are. Sometimes I'm stuck, my head is spinning. Sometimes I need to move. I need to move my body because emotions get stuck if we sit. You ever get like that? You're depressed or you're sad and you just like stay in the same place and your emotions stay there too. So if you can get up and move, like go for a walk outside, lift some weights, like play with the dog, or do something to move the emotions through the body, they don't stay stuck there. So just ask yourself, what do you need? And if you can't figure it out, by all means, pick up the phone and call a friend. Like phone a friend. Remember that? I don't remember what show that was. Millionaire. Who wants to be a millionaire? That was sounded like I was drunk. Who wants to be a millionaire? There, I enunciated. But phone a friend, like, oh my gosh, I'm stuck. Can you support me? And ask for what you need. I had somebody call me last week, I believe, and she said, I could use some support. And I said, how can I best support you? She's a coach. She knows I'm a coach. I said, do you want me to just listen? Do you want coaching? What is it? She said, if you could just listen first. And then when I'm open for coaching, I'll let you know. I said, perfect. And we established that in the beginning because we're used to communicating. We know these things. So if I had just jumped in and started coaching her before she was empty, before she had a space to receive it, she wouldn't have felt loved. She wouldn't have felt seen. She wouldn't have felt accepted. So when you are asking for support, say what you need, and even say, I don't know what I need, but I'll let you know if you do something that doesn't work for me, or I'll let you know as I go along. Right now, I just want to, we call it vomiting, but like hold the bucket for somebody, like you vomit like all the crazy thoughts that are going through that aren't really you. It's just the surface stuff. Dr. Joe calls that in the refractory period, when you've been triggered. The most common thing people say is, oh gosh, I shouldn't have sent that text. Oh gosh, I shouldn't have sent that email. I shouldn't have called. I shouldn't have said that, right? I shouldn't have done that. So when you are triggered, you don't act. You don't respond. Even though you're positive you're right and you have the best comeback ever, you're going to regret it. So if you want peace, breathe. Connect to your breath, connect to your body, move your body, breathe. I like to pray too, like, help me to see this through your eyes. Whoever you pray to, help me to see this through your eyes. Help me to see this person as innocent. And I remind myself, not when I'm triggered. When I'm triggered, right? Like anybody else. But after that, I'm like, okay, that's right. I don't know what anything means or what anything is for, but I think I do, right? I think I know what's best for everybody. When I'm triggered, I'm like, what? Well, he should do this. She should do this, right? Anytime I catch myself shoulding all over myself or someone else, I know I'm like on the wrong path. Turn, don't go that way. Turn, like make a sharp 180. You're going in the wrong direction. It's like going the wrong way down a one-way street. You're gonna get in the head on eventually. So if you catch yourself being right about your response or thinking you have a good comeback, breathe, come back home. Come back to your center. I don't know what anything means or what anything is for, but I know you do. I know you do. And you could be talking to your higher self. You could be talking to God, universe, source, spirit, the flying spaghetti monster, whatever you want to call it. And if you do react and you're not happy with what you did, clean it up. So what? We all make mistakes. Say, oh my gosh, you deserve better. I was definitely triggered. That was not about you. That was about me. So anytime you react to somebody, you are never, ever reacting to that person or what's right in front of you at that moment. You're always reacting to your past. And we bring all this baggage and we think, we've done lots of therapy and we've done coaching and we don't think we behave that way anymore. We don't think we bring our baggage, but we do. So when you find yourself reacting poorly, go back, calm down by all means, come back to love. I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable forever. And when you believe that, then clean it up. Clean it up. I had a talk with my daughter, my 15-year-old, and I was talking about being responsible for our behaviors, for our actions, and for everything that we're creating. And I said, what do I do when I yell at you or when I lose it or whatever? What do I do afterward? She's like, you clean it up. You apologize. You are responsible for it. And what I'll almost always say is, you did not deserve that. That was not your fault. Because it's not. I don't care what she does. She could chase me with a knife. If I yell at her or say something unkind, that's on me. It's not on her. That's my responsibility to respond, not react. And yeah, I'm improving, but I'm not perfect. And I probably never will be. I'm a human, right? And I'm okay with that. I give myself grace. I'm like, ooh, I did not handle that well. Did not do that well. And I love myself anyway. There's nothing I could do to be unlovable. Remember? Yeah. So it's taken a lot of years to get to this point. I don't want you to think it's easy, because it's not. In those moments, I'm disappointed in myself. I'm like, dang it, I did it again. I yelled. And some people don't care about yelling, but I studied this book called Real Love. And before I had children, or no, they were little. And one of the things it said was, when we are angry or disappointed in our kids, all they hear through their filter is, I don't love you. And I'm like, I never want my kids to feel like I don't love them. So I did my best, like throughout the years, to never, ever be angry at them and to never be disappointed, to be like neutral and loving. And I'm not perfect, but as a goal, when you have that as a goal, you're going to hit it a lot more often than when you don't have it as a goal, when you have no goal. So when I don't hit it, I'm disappointed in myself. And I'm like, oh. And then I get to love myself. I get to call somebody and say, I messed it up again. And, I'm hurting my kids and whatever my stories are at that moment. And they're like, you can't do it wrong. All events are neutral. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. All events are neutral, even if I yell at my kids. And I get to model. I get to model for them what it's like to clean it up and to not shame myself. I like to say, I really messed this up and it's not your fault. You deserve better. And, what can I do to make it up to you? How does that make you feel? And they will say, like, unloved. I felt like you didn't love me. Oh, it's like stabbing, right? And I know that everything that we all do will be used for us and for the other person. Like, there's some lesson there. There's some lesson for everybody. So I take comfort in that. Like, this will be used for their growth and development and for mine. And I'm going to do my best to not repeat this, because I don't like it. It doesn't feel good. It does not feel good at all. So remember that I am loved. I am loving. I am lovable forever. I am that I am. So this is the place where you could be at peace, where you can know. And when you say that, say it until you know it's true, because it is true. It is true. And if you forget, email me. I'm going to call you because it's true for everybody. If you are watching this live, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Boxing Day, all the things. And if you're watching the recording, just carry, the spirit of love in your heart, always, always. And know that I love you. I will see you right here next week on Irresistible You, Ignite Your Passion and Purpose.